Great. So you did it. You did the Ayurveda cleanse. You're probably feeling quite differently now, now that you're sort of in that post-cleanse phase. You spent the last day sort of eating foods that have ignited your Agni, which is your digestive fire. So we've kindled that digestive fire. That is part of what a cleanse does. And we've also reduced ama. Ama is just another word. It's a Sanskrit word for toxins. So you've done those two things in 10 days, and that's quite a lot. And I want you to think back to when you started. Maybe you lost some weight. For many people, that is a goal. Do you have more energy, perhaps? Do you feel maybe a little bit more stable, maybe a little lighter? Anybody want to jump in and tell me how they're feeling now? That means you have to unmute yourself.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
Nina?
Okay, I am. Can you hear? No.
Yep, we can hear you. Well, we did, but now you've just muted yourself again. And I don't think I can unmute you, Nina. So Nina's muted. Anybody
Oh,
else? Yep, there you are. Go ahead, love. How are you feeling, Nina?
oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, sorry about the video.
That's okay.
I did fairly well, as I mentioned in the comments with the routine. I would say 80%, 90%, or
Good.
I tried, but there was a lot. There's a lot on the list. But now, on day 13, 14, whatever it is, I definitely feel more energetic than I did
Great.
a
Great.
week ago. I was really feeling tired. And
Well,
happily, I haven't really lost weight, maybe a pound, but that wasn't really significant. But I do feel lighter. I
yes.
feel, I just feel really good. I did a long hike yesterday, and that, of course, that contributes to this feeling, but I feel kind of euphoric, to tell you the truth.
Love it. All that without drugs. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Nina. Anybody else want to say anything? Susan?
Oh, hi. Um, I noticed that since I've been off sugar and coffee, even though I do want to have coffee again, my head is a lot clearer. So I
Mm.
do notice a change in that, and my skin is a lot better. And plus, I'm using your skincare line, so that's wonderful too. So, but yeah, I'm more awake and more present. So it's been a different cleanse than the last cleanse, but it was good. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan. You do look great. I was noticing when I saw you when you first came on, your skin's glowing. Yes, you look wonderful. But with Katie's hair in your skin, we're doing well. So let's spend a little bit time on next steps. I mean, it's great to do a cleanse. We feel wonderful. It's a bit like going on vacation, isn't it? You feel wonderful when you've been on vacation, but then you come home and within a couple of weeks you're back to normal again. And you think, oh my gosh, I spent all that money and time on vacation. I might as well not have gone. So let's talk about how to sort of live and thrive as you go forward. And we're going to sort of talk a little bit about your dosha. And now you've completed the cleanse, you obviously know what your dosha is. And your dosha is just your metabolic type. It's a bit like your genetics. Nobody has your genetic blueprint. Nobody has your dosha blueprint. But 5,000 years ago in Ayurveda, they didn't have the language of genetics, but they did know that you could change health outcomes by diet and lifestyle and some herbal support. You could change it. We now know through epigenetics, which is a field of genetics, that we can change genes being switched on and off according to diet and lifestyle. So isn't that amazing that 5,000 years ago they knew this, they just didn't call it the same language. So your dosha really is like your genetic blueprint. And now that you know what it is, you can take a much more individualized approach to what you eat, to your lifestyle, and you can sort of further tweak that journey to health. So I'm going to encourage you to use your dosha as a guide. Trust your intuition. We often don't, and I'm always amazed when somebody will turn around to me and say, "Oh, I can eat that. Oh, I always wanted to eat that, but I didn't because I just didn't think it was healthy for me." So, for example, if you're a vata suffering through raw foods and salads every day because you think it's healthy, but you're really craving warm soups and stews, you can now trust that intuition. Now, if your intuition is saying I need to eat M&Ms every day, maybe you need to talk to me because we can't trust that intuition. But go with what feels right. Now, I'm often asked, what is a dosha? Does my dosha change over time? To truly know what your dosha is, it is important to see an Ayurveda practitioner. You have taken a dosha quiz so far to know what your dosha is. And some of you who are working with me certainly have gone further than a dosha quiz. But let's talk about quizzes. Quizzes are a lot of fun. That's why we do them. You know, they attract us. They are a lot of fun. And they do give us some valuable information. The valuable information they give us is who we are at the time we take the quiz, because that's all any quiz can do. It can only spit back the information that you put in. All quizzes and assessments are designed to do that. So it's a snapshot. It's a single moment in history. It's who you are at the time you take the quiz. The second limitation to any dosha quiz is it is self-reporting. So you're putting down who you think you are. You know what? That's not necessarily who you are. So it is really important to go deeper into who you are, your bio-individuality. And we need to do that by exploring all aspects of what makes you you. Feeling young and healthy and having the energy that Nina's talking about, having glowing skin that we can see with Susan, this is not something that happens just overnight. It comes from working over time on your health. So the last thing you want to do is go back to where you were before. I'm sure you want to maintain that energy, Nina. And when we work one-on-one with people, we do it in a very, very personalized way. We do this by creating customized wellness plans that truly meet your specific health needs. And that's based upon understanding who you really are. So we go very, very deep into who you are, your bio-individuality, and we do that by exploring all aspects of what makes you you. That does include your dosha makeup, but it also includes your genetics as well. And in my programs, we do include genetics. That way we can get to know you right down to that molecular level. And then this knowledge is then combined with the information from an Ayurveda consultation. That way we can create a really comprehensive wellness plan that just meets your specific health needs. So for example, are you eating the right foods in the right seasons? You know, you've been on a cleanse. You do need to start eating normal foods again. Are you getting up at the right time and going to bed at the right time for you? What we've done in a cleanse is it's a group cleanse that we've just done, which is fun, and you're all feeling better for it because we've come off, in all fairness, those crappy foods, those foods that are inflammatory. You've spent time on yourself, you've done some self-care. Of course you're going to feel better, but I can't personalize a group cleanse to what you may be going through. So really important to understand what's right for you. So as I said, are you eating the right foods in the right seasons? Are you getting up at the right time, going to bed at the right time? Are you doing the right exercises to get the best results for who you are? And then just as important, does your genetic makeup tell us that you may have a predisposition to certain health risks that we do need to account for? So for example, some foods that otherwise should be fine may actually be the cause of weight gain or low energy or insomnia. So it's really important to find out the answers to those questions too. And then what that does, and those of you who are already working with me one-on-one know this, that then results in a customized wellness plan that is based upon an Ayurveda diagnosis of all your symptoms and imbalances, Also combined with the results from your genetic makeup, we're going to end up with a really multifaceted plan that is broken down into exercise support, lifestyle support, even mental health support. So I will tell you what to eat for your body type and goals, when to sleep, how to exercise, so everything is tailored to you personally. Now, we have some people on the call who are already in programs with me. Anybody want to jump in, Katie or Susan, and sort of talk about what that looked like for you?
I guess, go ahead, Katie.
Don't all jump at once.
Sorry, thank you. My Zoom is freezing.
Oh, go ahead, Susan. Yeah.
Can you
Katie.
hear me?
Yeah, you are freezing though, Katie. So go ahead, Susan.
Okay. All right. Well, I do know that I'm very happy that I did do the personalization because I had a gluten sensitivity and I had not been eating gluten for like 10 years. And with her program, I am now able to eat gluten since October, and it's been amazing. I know the cleanse don't have a lot of gluten on it right now, but it's going to be interesting to see how I feel when I start to eat that again. Well, I did because I had the sprouted wheat bread, so I can still eat it, and I'm just so amazed. It had no drugs involved, which is what I wanted, and my skin and my head, and I'm out of the brain fog. I have more energy. I can get up in the mornings. I can be in the present moment, and I just can't thank Carrie and her program enough, and Lisa too. She's just a godsend. She's done a wonderful job with me, and she listens, and they help me through everything. So it's
And
really a good program.
Susan, how long have you been with us?
Since August. So
Yeah.
it'll be almost a year. So yes, and it is worth it. Yes.
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 Thank you, Susan. You couldn't want a better testimonial. And I didn't plant her, believe me.
Oh, well, it's the truth. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan. And I just want to remind everybody that Ayurveda in Sanskrit means the science of life or the science of longevity. So it really is a blueprint for how to live the rest of your life with health and vitality. And that's what I want for you. It's not going to happen with one cleanse. You'll feel better, but invariably you're going to go back to your old routines under stress because you've not learned anything else at this point. And that long-term health and vitality, where your hair looks beautiful, where you're open, you're focused, you're on task, no brain fog, weight's where you want it to be. This is what we do in our one-on-one program. So we work with your goals, whatever those goals are, to get you to those goals. So to help you further down that path, what I've done is I've opened a few openings next week in my calendar where I put aside some time to chat with you. Now, my calendar does fill up quickly. I have clients all over the world. So I've done my best to open up some time if you would like to take this further, because you've just invested 10 days on this cleanse. And I'm not talking about a financial investment. We did this because we believe the knowledge should be shared freely, and we're very, very committed to that. And that's why we offered this for free. But you committed time-wise. That's huge. You committed to yourself to feel better. And now that you do, I'm hoping that you've seen the tremendous results that you can get from just one short cleanse. Imagine if you're feeling this way now, just after sort of 10, 14 days, depending on when you started, imagine how you would feel if you explored this further and joined us in a program where we work with you one-on-one. So I do invite you to book a call with me. I'll put a link in wherever you see this. No obligation, just an opportunity to talk with you. And in that consultation, what we'll do is start by exploring your current situation. Let's see where you are now with your health and also where you're looking to go with that. That's really important. If I can help you with that, it is what we do in the world. But in all transparency, we can't always help everybody. So if for any reason we can't help you or I can't help you, I do have a lot of resources and I'll do my best to connect you with some resources that can take you further. But what we're going to do on the call is sort of get some clarity around what you'd like to achieve in your health and why that's important to you, as I said. Second, I want to really sort of look at the underlying root cause of any health challenges that you may be having. The way Ayurveda works, and I want you to imagine an iceberg, and at the tip of that iceberg are things like fatigue, diabetes, cancer, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, I mean, all the modern diseases of today. And this is where the medical model meets us and gives us pharmaceuticals to decrease those symptoms. Not a bad way to go. I mean, uncontrolled blood pressure is dangerous. Uncontrolled depression is dangerous. But if you look below the level of the waterline where the vast majority of that iceberg is, that's the underlying root cause. So if you're struggling with fatigue, if you're struggling with weight, if you're struggling with not being focused or brain fog like Susan, if you're struggling with digestive issues, they're just symptoms. This is your body's way of talking to you in the language of symptoms. It's the only language the body has and tells you something's wrong. What we do is we get to the root cause of that, fix it at that level, and then all those symptoms go. And there's probably a pattern of symptoms that you have, and we'll go into all that in a consultation. And then once we've done that, once we've got that information from you and sort of unpacked your symptoms, and looked at the root cause, then we can develop a strategy together that will give you some immediate and some lasting results. So I invite you to book a call with me. As I said, no obligation, just an opportunity to take it further. You've done the cleanse. Hopefully it was a wonderful experience for you. Each time you cleanse, it's different. So don't expect it to happen. And please do not cleanse again until fall. Summertime is not a time to cleanse. So some of the questions that I get asked, can I cleanse basically every time I feel crappy? No, we don't binge cleanse. All cleansing is depleting. That's the way it's designed. Now you're in the rejuvenation phase of the cleanse, and that's what I love about Ayurveda cleanses is they do rejuvenate as well. But they're still depleting. I didn't cleanse this time. I just had an accident. I'm in casts. The stress of that accident is too much for me to cleanse. So cleansing isn't right for everybody all of the time. But summertime is not a time to cleanse. So please don't cleanse in the summer. In the fall, we'll do another one, and you're welcome to join us then. But the idea is the cleanse is an introduction into a whole lifestyle for you that just gradually shifts you to what's sustainable and what's right for you so that you can ultimately feel better, feel who you truly are deep down. So as I said, invite you to book a call with me. I have some openings next week. That's it. And then the openings stop. I've told you what will happen on the call, but what I really want to do now is sort of open it up to any questions that you may have as we go forward. Any questions, comments, besides the chia seeds not working out with cold water or cold almond milk? It has to be done with warm. We figured that one out. I might change that recipe next time.
I do have one. When do we get to start incorporating milk, like the whole milk that's not non-homogenized? When can we start that up?
Well,
Back.
it depends upon whether milk is indicated for you. So, Susan, go back to your transformational wellness plan and your foods that are right for you. If milk's indicated for you, it's often not indicated for anybody who has a lot of caffeine in them. It can be very congestive in spring. So as we're coming into the summer, milk is actually cooling. So it's actually a really nice, so people who have a lot of pitta in them do very well with milk and milk products. But I'm not going to suggest somebody have a milk product if they're lactose intolerant. So if you can handle milk, then yes. And whole milk is always much, much better than pasteurized, homogenized, and and try and do organic as much as possible. If you live somewhere where you can get raw milk, I love raw milk. Once you've done that, it's hard to go back to the regular stuff. But do make sure that you boil that milk for at least a minute before you have it. But your body actually loves raw milk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can find like the pasteurized non-homogenized that has the little cream thing at the top, and you have to like, yeah. So
But
okay.
Susan, you're in Pittsburgh, aren't you? Or just outside Pittsburgh?
I'm in Ohio, but we're
Okay.
about an hour away from Pittsburgh.
Okay, so you might have raw milk in your area because you've got a lot of farms.
Hmm. Yeah, there's actually one that's in a glass jar, and it's actually it has a different taste to it. It has that little thick thing, but then they also have another. There's like two that I have found, so I'm hoping
Yeah,
hoping
good.
that. And I don't know if the A2 milk is the same because I did finally find that in the grocery store, but I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
what that.
very popular right now. Yes, I
I
would
don't,
always, there's
I don't
fads
know
that
what
come
that
and
is.
go. Susan, I would stick to just your whole milk as much as
Okay.
possible. Make sure it's organic and it doesn't have antibiotics added to it, which tends to happen to a lot of milk because of our farming practices.
Yeah. Okay. And then the coffee, I'm hoping to maybe have at least a cup sometime. So
I mean,
can I?
so once again, Susan, is coffee indicated for you? So go back to your transformational wellness plan. It's caffeine, and go back to your genetics. Are you a fast metabolizer of caffeine?
It did say I was, yeah.
So
So,
you can have
but the
coffee
sugar,
then.
could I just use the pure cane sugar with that? I mean, I'll try to make it small because I can't have coffee without milk and sugar. So I just don't know if I'm
But
even
Susan,
gonna make it.
I'm intrigued as to where you're getting the information from, love. Who says you can't have milk and sugar in your coffee?
Well, I didn't know we had to, well, it says to stop everything,
Oh,
to
on the
just gradually do
clans.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on
Well,
the,
you're a little
but
bit
then,
different. You're doing you've done a group plans, but also we've personalized your plan for you. So that kind of trumps doing a group plan. So go back to
okay,
your plan and what's right for you. You've already gone a step further, love. You've already said, I'm committed to having a personalized plan. So you just
okay.
jumped into the group plans as well, which, it's perfectly appropriate.
Okay. Well, I had to do a spring one because I was late on it. So, but thank you. That's all I needed. I needed to know about. Just
Great.
have to go back to that. So thank you. I won't take any more time. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear and
Okay,
see you,
all right,
Nina.
I'm doing it right now. Well, first of all, I wanted to say I really liked the way the materials were organized and how
Thank
thorough
you.
they were, and I loved the recipes. I just thought it was really well organized and it gave so much information. I loved having the yoga video and
Mhm.
the other videos. I actually made some ghee. I never saw myself doing that, but I actually did. And I
It's
don't think
easy.
buy it it was easy. Yeah, and it seemed to turn out okay.
Mhm.
So I just thought now there's there were maybe a couple of edits I would make, but that may be my pitta side coming out. I don't know.
I love it. I love those pitters that say, hey, you've made an error here. So follow up with me on that, Nina. Send me an email with what you found was wrong or didn't work.
Okay.
And I
It
will.
was an omission. Yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
anyway, but overall, I thought I just loved the materials this time.
thank
My
you.
question was, rice. How much rice is too much? Every time I've done a cleanse, which I think this is my third time, um, I don't lose. I've actually gained, which is very discouraging, but sometimes I think I'm eating too much rice.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of wondering how much is too much and what's, quantity for rice.
So it changes according to the season. So are you talking about in a cleanse specifically, or are
Yes.
you talking about generally?
Well, I guess both, but certainly in the cleanse, I feel like I may overdo it.
Sure, sure. So we want to go by hunger, okay? Now, if you have a lot of pitta in you, Nina, you're going to be hungry more than most, all right? That's just who you are. You have that faster metabolism of pitta. So
I think for me, I'm more predominantly Vata.
Vata, you're in
But
Vata stage of
Mhm.
life, but I can see the picture in you too. So the best way to do it is if you were to put your two hands together, I want you to put your two hands together like this.
Okay.
That's your serving size. All right. We don't have to do cups. We don't have to count calories or carbs or units of protein. It is just this is your meal size. So that's a bowl. That's a Buddha bowl. So that's your rice, your vegetables. If you're doing khichdi, if it's your oatmeal for breakfast, it's whatever it's your bowl of soup. But that's your serving size, and that's individual to you because my hands, I may be bigger than you, so I've got a bigger serving size than you. If you were to put your partners next to you, it would be that much bigger. So
Well, I will say when I put all the vegetables on, it's bigger than my hands. So that may be too much. Okay.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
But-
Okay.
So that's one way of doing it. And the other one is at the end. At the end of your meal, you should feel satiated. You should feel full, not stuffed, where it's like, oh my God, I can't move from the table. But you should definitely feel, okay, I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore. So when you finish your meal, Nina, are you satiated? Are you full?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes. Oh, yeah. I'm very happy. Yes. And I love the dressings that go on the
Yeah.
bowls.
Yeah.
The miso
Carrie.
and the turmeric. Yeah, I loved them.
What
Oh,
about
yes.
the
So I
first burp?
definitely feel good. But I think I may be over serving. I don't feel
Yeah.
stuffed, but it may be too much.
Carrie,
Yes, Katie.
I know you can't. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. What about the first burp rule, where you feel yourself give one burp and then you can take a few more bites? Or that's how I gauge my fullness, my
So
first burp.
tell us that one again, Katie.
So when you're eating, pay attention and you will have a burp. And the first time that you do a small burp, you're full. You can take a couple of more bites without overeating, but you should be done after you burp. If you pay attention to your digestion as you're eating.
So very prevalent in a lot of Vatas who do have a lot of gas and bloating and they will burp. But not everybody does that. So different ways of gauging. So one way Katie's found works for her. The portion control one is another way of doing it. And essentially, these are all just tools. I want you to sort of feel, okay, do I feel nourished by this food? Do I feel full? Not just, well, that was really tasty. I could eat another piece of pie. We all feel that. But no, I am full and I feel satiated, and that you have enough, and that meal then gets you to your next meal. That's really important, that you eat enough at lunchtime to get to your evening meal, that you eat enough at breakfast to get to your lunchtime meal without having to snack in between. If you're finding an hour after your meal, you are ravenous and you're hungry, you have not eaten enough. Either it's not substantial enough for you to get you through to that next meal. So that's what we want to look at too. So all those things play into how much we're actually eating. And it may change on a day. This morning, I wasn't particularly hungry. I just made a protein shake for me because I'm having to eat more protein because of my injuries to build bone. So it was enough. The other day, I was ravenous and had a huge bowl of oatmeal. So each day is different as well. As we come into the summer, you'll find that your appetite decreases a little bit. That's normal. Again, it's seasonal as well.
Also, Carrie, with the question about the rice and gaining weight, do you think that going with all carbs and kind of retains more water, and then once you start adding in some more protein, some of that should drain, and she'll actually, because of her channels being so open, that it'll drain quickly and you'll really lose the weight quickly?
Yeah,
is what I find.
I do think
Because
so.
the weight is very light, but it's holding a lot of water.
Yes. We'd have to look at, probably go a little bit deeper with Nina. I mean, more than we can do on sort of a group plans, and sort of see, and that's what we would work with Nina. Okay, so what else is going on? Did you need to put weight on? There are some people that need to put weight on.
No,
So
definitely not.
Okay. In which case, you know,
That is not my problem.
yeah, was it too much? What exercise was going on? What else is going on in Nina's life? You know, weight, it's an issue for many of us. Weight is not the problem. It's the underlying root cause where the body's holding on to weight. Is it that there's too many carbs in this cleanse for Nina? She should have had a little bit more protein. We don't know. These are all the very personalized things that we get into on our one-on-one programs where we can actually look at that. And I think what you're doing is you're bringing these nuances in because it's a group cleanse. I couldn't sort of jump on a call with you and sort of say, okay, what's Nina doing? What's Nina's lifestyle like? What's she doing each day? Why has that weight gone the other way for her? What happened here? Not that it failed by any means, but yes, she held on to weight. So there'll be a lot more questions, follow-up questions with Nina. Is that weight water weight? Are her rings tight? Is there gas and bloating with it? So there's a lot of other questions, Nina, that we would drill down working one-on-one with you that we can't do in a group cleanse. So for all those people who might be listening to this, if things happened, it doesn't mean that the cleanse wasn't right, or it doesn't mean that it didn't do what it was supposed to do, but it just, you're unique. So unless I talk with you and sort of find out what's going on with you, specifically, it's sort of, does that kind of make sense? It's hard to generalize a cleanse to everybody when you're all going to feel quite different on it, depending on what's going on with you. Yes, Nina.
Yeah. Oh, and I should clarify, it's Nina. Sorry.
Nina, sorry.
Early on.
Yeah.
I should say that I didn't, you were clear not to expect to lose weight, that was not the point of it.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have that expectation, but since I was so very disciplined, I mean, I really was showing up for this, I gotta
Good for
say.
you.
Pat
Good for you,
myself. I thought, you know, I've dropped so many bad habits that surely something like it's going to show up in the weight, and it didn't. And that's when I started wondering about the portion size, that maybe I was just kind of overdoing. But it was so good. I really, really love
Are you
it.
talking about the kitchen, or are you talking about all of the recipes?
All the recipes.
Yeah. What's your
I
favorite?
just had such a good time making them. They were also, I did not try the chia. I had failed with that particular thing before, and I
Yeah.
just had some, the amaranth made so much that I had some of that left over. So anyway, I didn't try that one, but everything else I just thought was so terrific. So I just wanted to clarify, I didn't have an expectation of any great weight loss. That was, you know, I wasn't surprised. But anyway, you answered my question. That was very helpful.
Thank you, Nina. Any other questions before I let everybody go? All right, terrific. Well, thank you for doing the cleanse. If you need to chat with me next week, the link will go up. So feel free to book a call on my calendar, and I'll talk again with you all soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.